So I want to start out with caution and say, please don't be distracted by the blue elephant that's in this room. The blue elephant that's in the room. And so what's the first thing that goes through your mind?
What's the elephant and how's it blue?
And you picture something. So you might, in doing something like that, get distracted or start thinking. So if you were to come up and say, please don't worry about, the first thing that's going to go through your mind is, should I be worrying about something? And part of that has to deal with this morning's gospel. And part of the importance is that this morning's gospel builds off of last week's gospel. So here's the test. Does anybody remember what last week's gospel reading was? And what else? We get the big one, the lawyer. Starts out with the lawyer saying, what works must I do? And he is hung up with the works, specifically, not the reason behind them. And then we have the Samaritan who doesn't ask the question, what works should I be doing? And through this person, we see service, we see compassion, we see living out love your neighbor as yourself. This morning's gospel, once again, touches on that with Mary and Martha. We have Martha worried about the appropriate tasks, the works that must be done. She gets consumed by them. And we have Martha doing something that I don't often do as she does, taking time out to just relax, to listen, to be part of the moment. And so it isn't so much about Mary and Martha with tasks and time out as it is a challenge. Are we willing to put aside being anxious for being able to listen and trust? That's really what's coming out in Martha and Mary. And the words that are in there are important. We have Martha saying she was distracted by the many tasks, diakonia. And then her sister Mary. And then later she says, are you going to leave all the work to me, diakonoi? Words of which we get deacon and service and ministry, reaching out. Martha was so consumed with the tasks at hand that she forgot to take a chance and listen. Let me ask, do you think Jesus cared if dinner was going to be late that day? Do you think Jesus cared if perhaps it wasn't perfect? Just a little while ago, he went 40 days without food. So somehow, I don't think he was too terribly worried. Martha, perhaps you can sit and relax and listen. I think that's what comes oftentimes with the church today is we often fail to sit and listen so that we can hear the whispers of God. Oftentimes we wait until it's the 2x4 and the screaming of listen to me instead of listen I'll give a couple of examples. In a church many years ago, we had an altar guild that would regularly complain about there weren't a lot of members on the altar guild, and did anyone really understand how important their ministry was? And so Kim said, I would love to join the altar guild. What she got back was, you're too young. You don't understand how important this is. In another church, I remember distinctly, the priest in charge, very, very pious person. You couldn't miss it. And when it came time for communion, our son had been at seminary and was used to taking communion. And so when it came time, the priest said, the body of Christ got to our son. Body of Christ got to our daughter. The body of Christ. So my son started going back and forth on the altar saying, why won't you share God with me? Who do you think had it right? At the end of the service, the priest had said, can't you control your kid? I won't tell you what I said back, other than that was the last day we spent at that church. Who do you think had it right? There's a wonderful song from Ecclesiastes 5, and I think it summarizes very well what we have going on this morning. I'd like you to take time out and listen. church, don't you? What do you mean relax? Who is this? Oh, Abba. Listen. Okay. I'm listening. Okay, I think I've got it. I'll tell him. Oh, peace. Yeah, peace be with you too. So, God asked me to think if I could summarize what this morning and this is all about. And it was something like this. We are called to relax and to listen. In some of the most, perhaps awkward ways, we are asked, do we trust in God? Because we come here to set aside time to do very special things. We come time to listen, to pray together, to minister to each other, and especially to become nourished through the body and blood of Christ so that we can go out into the world. At the end of the service, Joyce will give us a command, a bidding. It doesn't close out the service. It takes it out into the world with us when she says, go in peace, to listen to love, and serve the Lord. And we in turn say, thanks be to God, and go forth to listen. And more importantly, to take the grace of God with us. Thanks be to God.
Amen.